Throne and Liberty, the most hyped up MMORPG in recent times. They had a beta early this summer, and let me tell you, it failed miserably. However, it seems like they have tried to do like a 180, fix a lot of issues that people had, and now they're releasing their official launch in Korea December 7th. I'll be checking it out, of course, and then the global launch probably later in 2024, probably like early 2024 if I'm gonna be honest with you, which is being published by Amazon Games. So let's talk about Throne and Liberty. Let's see if they actually made some good changes and if it will be worth checking out or not. So the main issue a lot of people had with the game during summer was that the combat, which is the core part of an MMORPG, was absolutely horrendous. There was a lot of auto questing, auto battle, a lot of like mobile features, because they talked about a mobile version for a long time. They said you could like stream it on mobile and possibly a mobile client. So try to put up like a mobile-esque game for PC players, and was hoping that everything would be okay, but that was not the case. A lot of people played this game during the beta. The combat felt awful, and the questing felt awful. It took way too long to grind because there was auto features. You could even like auto play while being offline by paying for it. So there's a lot of like issues, core issues with the game. But let's look at the good things that the game had, right? The game looked absolutely incredible. That's why it was the most hyped up MMO in recent years, because it had this massive world with like no loading screens, right? It had an amazing weapon system. There was no like bound classes. You could switch weapons whenever. You could have 2 weapons, like kind of like New World. You could switch between. It was a full tap target game though, but you just could switch weapons and choose whatever you want to play. They had the Holy Trinity, tank, healer, DPS, what you want in an MMO. And the world looked absolutely incredible. It's a massive world. You can jump around, you can fly around, you can explore this world. There was massive world bosses, you have raid bosses, you have incredible siege PvP, and it looked absolutely incredible. And they had this weather system too, which was absolutely insane, where depending on the weather, the environment would change, right? There would be certain monsters that would spawn during rainy weather. There would be different monsters during sunny weather. There were new caves that would open during certain weather. It was incredible. So people looked at this and they were like, holy, this might be the MMORPG, right? But things again, because of the core of the game and how they presented it, it became very awful. However, they did a 180 on this and they released a lot of content footage of it now, how they have made those changes. And I'm gonna be honest, it is incredible how much changes they were able to do during this short period of time, because MMOs take many years to develop, and especially combat and stuff is like the core mechanics of the game. That's what you build early on. But here they were able to change the combat, so now there's no longer like super static combat. They have more fluid combat. You can move while attacking on some skills. There's more like speed skills, movement skills, teleport skills that will make the movement way better, because if when you were playing the beta last time, if somebody ran away from you in a straight line, you couldn't do anything to them. But now they've added more fluid combat. The weapon switching feels good. From what I heard, of course I haven't tested it myself, but what you can see, what other people that have played it have been talking about, it seems that the combat has improved by a lot, which is great. They have also removed, for the Western release, I don't know if they're doing for the Korean release, but they removed the mobile system. So they moved the auto questing, the auto pathing, the auto battling, the auto play while offline, which is great news also, because it seems like they listen to feedback and they have been working on it a lot, right? Which is amazing. However, guys, there's always a however, there's always a but. These are all great things, but let's be real, the content in this game looks incredible. I'm glad they changed the combat and everything that people are complaining about, but the monetization, guys, the monetization, what's gonna happen with the monetization? Are they gonna keep it completely pay to win? They have talked a little bit about it, but I feel like every time I see them talk about monetization, they're very careful in how they're using their words, right? And because these days When you say you're not gonna have a pay-to-win MMORPG, like we saw in Tari's Land very recently, it could mean a lot of different things. So they're being careful at how they talk about monetization. But from what I can see and what I can tell is you can buy the in-game currency from the shop. So that is very pay to win, right? So you could probably just buy in-game currency, buy a lot of stuff from the trading house, which is not going to be good. Also, so that's like they're going like the Tari's Land pay to win route, and then they also have gear upgrades like Lost Ark has, where you upgrade your gear, and the more and more you upgrade, the lower chances would be like a gambling thing, right? Like the Lost Ark system, like with the honing stones. But it doesn't seem like you can break your weapon or lose your weapon, which is good. But it seems like you will be having to purchase more of these stuffs, right? To be able to roll better gear, to get stronger. And the reality is that these kind of games, the content looks absolutely incredible. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play for the content. A lot of people are gonna play it for the content because the content in this game looks awesome. However, pay to win games, they do not last. Like we have seen it thousands and thousands of times, where the gap becomes bigger and bigger, especially this type of game where there's a lot of like PvP focus. It's people are gonna notice it. They're gonna 1 month in, 2 months in, 3 months in, they're gonna get tired of it, and then they will leave the game. And what happens when those people leave the game? The pay to win becomes more and more, because they have not completely said that we're gonna remove auto and everything forever. They're gonna say we're gonna monitor it, right? So eventually, what I am seeing in the future is the AFK offline play mode that BDM has, like Black Desert Mobile has. It's gonna be implemented sometimes in the future when they lose a lot of players, they want to make more money, right? It's a perfect way to implement it later on. So very scared for the monetization. Like the Amazon games have been trying to calm it down a little bit, be like, yeah, we're not gonna do these, we're gonna be careful, we're not gonna make it super pay to win. But if it's pay to win, it is pay to win. That's just how it works. But I'm gonna play it for the content, because again, the content looks incredible. They talked a little bit about the PvP too, and our PvP enthusiast was really hyped about this game. They said they're tuning down PvP a little bit, not as much focus as they had before. So it's not going to be full PvP zones everywhere you go, or they're gonna more like base PvP around like world bosses, siege wars, certain events or zones that happen, because they said that they want people to have the option to avoid the PvP, which is understandable, right? So overall, I do think that this game has a lot of content that we can be excited about, but I do not see this game lasting as long as the other core MMORPGs these days, and that is just because of the pay to win. If it didn't have the pay to win aspect, this game could be the one MMORPG, because them making changes this fast, listening to feedback, listening to suggestions, and making these changes super quickly just shows that they want to work on the game, they want to listen to feedback, right? But everything gets ruined by the monetization system, because you can see like this, from what I'm seeing right now, it seems like this MMO will end up being more pay to win than Lost Ark is. And these type of games, they do not end up working in the Western side, because we don't stand for pay to win, because people end up quitting very quickly when they start noticing that okay, they ran through the content, they've done most of the content, and now the content that they can do is probably like a lot of PvP and maybe some competitions, PvE competitions, raids, you know. And then when you start trying to compete in them, when you run through all the content, you can't do anything. Even though how many hours you put in the game, you start losing interest. It happens every single time. But again, I like that they made a lot of good changes. It's great news overall for Throne and Liberty. But the reality is, in my opinion, you know, I might be completely wrong, but from my experience and all the MMOs that I've played, because I've played a lot of like PC and mobile MMOs, I know how this goes. And the reality is, this kind of system does not last, especially in the West. It does not last, it doesn't work. But I'm gonna be playing it for the content for sure. We're gonna jump into it, you know. Maybe they'll keep their promise and suddenly the game is not pay to win at all. doubtful, but hey, who knows, right? But very doubtful on that. But I'm gonna jumping into gonna try all the content, all the bosses. Gonna probably doing some streams, some videos, a lot of character customization. You know, I'm excited. I really like New World, so I like the whole weapon swapping thing, and very excited for the massive raid battles because they look incredible. The battles, the bosses, everything looks very good. Everything, again, like I said, the core of the game after the changes they made is a top tier MMORPG. It's just that everything, all the monetization system just takes that top tier game, just drags it down, man, and ruins everything. But hey, what can we do, right? All about the money these days. But thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know, will you guys be checking out Throne of Liberty? Will you guys be playing in Korea? Obviously, the Korean version that will come out 7th of December will be very different. I mean, the gameplay and everything will be the same, but the monetization will be completely different. It will be way more pay to win, of course. But in my opinion, as long as you're pay to win, it's not going to work. It doesn't matter how pay to win it is. It just matters how long people will play your game. If you're minimal pay to win, people will play it for longer until the gap becomes too big and then people quit. If you're super pay to win, the gap is just massive from the start, right? But be checking it out on 7th December in Korea. Hopefully I don't get banned. And then we'll check out the global lines. Thank you guys so much for watching. Check out this video right here, and I'll see you guys next time.